Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. And in today's video we have this 2013 Infiniti G37 and we're going to do the rear Chrome Delete installation for this vehicle. As you can see, this is how it looks before doing the installation on the rear. It's just a regular chrome panel, and this is how it looks after the installation. So we use the gloss black material to black out the chrome in order to give the vehicle a more sportier look. If you like the product, link for the product will be linked below. But with that being said, let's get started with the installation video. So before you start any installation, you need to make sure you prep the panel that is being worked on. That way when you do the installation, you have no contaminants on the film that you're placing to the panel and everything comes out clean. In order to prep it, all you need is water, baby shampoo mixed together. Once you have your solution, spray it onto a clean microfiber towel and just clean the entire panel that you're working on. Also, make sure to clean the surrounding area of the panel you're working on, just in case the film does touch either section. You don't want it to get any contaminants that's around the panel. And then also, once you're done cleaning the panel, make sure everything's completely dry. That way the adhesive is able to tack down to the panel. So once you finish prepping the panel, now we can start with the installation. So with this one, it's a 3-piece installation. So you're going to have 2 pieces from one side and to cover the other side, and then 1 whole piece to cover the top section. So when it comes to installing the 2 sections, align the film to the cutout where the camera is located. So you can place the film here and just work your way on installing it on this section. Make sure you have material to cover the panel here. You can always lift it and realign it to make sure you're having full coverage to cover the chrome. It's just like that. Now lift the film carefully and just follow with the rest of the design. Align this to the lower section here. So follow it through, make sure you're covering the chrome. If you need to lift to readjust it, you can, until you reach it to this end, right here. With this part here, you can also help it tack down, sort of like this. But if you don't want any fingers, the other film will cover this section, so just up to like this. Once you place the film, grab your squeegee, start tacking down the film and remove any air that may be underneath the film. And if you feel like you need to realign it, you can always lift it as mentioned. Just be careful not to tear the film. And before we go on and install the next piece, apply heat. That way the adhesive is able to cure faster, and also we help the film tack down around the area where the camera is located. So just apply a little bit of heat to help the film tack down. So go little by little, that way you'll avoid having any fingers. And like I mentioned, if you need to lift it to readjust it, you can. Just lift it carefully, apply heat, and bring it back down. And don't forget to seal the top and the edge here. And now that we finished applying heat, you just trim off the excess material wherever you have excess. So for example here, a little bit here. In order to remove that excess, there is a gap in between the panel and the trunk. Find that small gap, into your blade, and trim it off like this. So when you finish applying heat, there's 2 things you can do. If you do have excess material here, you could trim it off. Since this section of the panel, there's a gap, you can tuck in the film underneath. Do it carefully and slowly, making sure you tuck it in all underneath, that way you don't have anything exposed. And also here, just carefully tuck in the film. So make sure everything stays tucked in. And then for this section, if you're unable to tuck in the film, you will grab your blade, find the small gap, and carefully trim off the excess material. Just like that, and it should look like this. So remember, on this area you could tuck in. On this area, if you can't, you could just trim it off. And then the same steps that we're done here, repeat it for the next piece, and then move on to this one. Okay, so now we're moving on to the top piece. So with this one, wherever you start, just align it from one end, work your way until you reach it to the other end. You can start aligning from this edge. Just make sure you give yourself a little bit more material in order to cover the curve here. And then just follow the design of the panel until you reach it to the other end here. Just like that. And then you may have small little fingers like these here. Just lift the film carefully and tack it down with your squeegee. But make sure when you're squeegeeing, you don't squeegee towards the fingers, because if you squeegee going towards them, you might crease the film. So you want to go at an angle like this. It's very important to do that. And you can also hold it and squeegee as you go. That way you're able to remove all of the air underneath the film. As you can see here, you may have a finger. You can always lift it, tack it down with your squeegee, and that should be it. And now just with the rest on the lower section, before you move on with the lower section, make sure this flat area is all tacked down. So make sure to remove any air bubbles that you may have. So secure all the flat area first. And once this whole top area is tacked down, focus on the middle. So all you need to do is just bring it down. I recommend starting from the middle and working your way to each side. So just take your time, bring everything down slowly until you reach to this end, and do the same to the other side. To finish it off, apply heat on this section since the film does overlap with this one. Just make sure to seal everything here, apply heat on top, and then we'll trim off the material that we don't need. So with this one, you could tuck in the material underneath, but you could only tuck in a certain amount. So whatever fits underneath should be fine, but the rest, if it doesn't fit, it will have to get trimmed off. So take your time tucking in as much as possible, and then whatever's excess material will trim it off. Same goes with the edges. So once you finish tucking in, there is a small gap. Insert your blade on that gap, and then carefully trim off the excess material, just like this. And with this one, you want to go at an angle when you're applying the blade to the panel. That way you don't scratch the paint or the chrome panel. And then do the same here. There's a small gap. Just find that gap. So find it from here and trim off. The rest could go tucked in. Do the same on this end. And then the last thing to do is to pulse heat the entire panel. So once you're done with the installation, the last thing to do is to pulse heat the entire panel. That way we help the adhesive activate faster, and also tack down any film that may be lifting around the edges or anywhere else on the panel. So take your time applying heat everywhere, and then once you're done with this step, you're done with the installation. Thank you for choosing Bogar Tech Design. As a small business, your support means everything to us. If you loved your product, please drop a review. If you have questions or issues, don't forget to message us via email. Once again, thank you so much for the support from our family to yours. So that concludes the installation video for the rear Chrome Delete installation for the 2013 Infiniti G37. We hope that this video helped you guys out with the installation. Don't forget to drop a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe and turn on that notification bell. That way you don't miss any of our upcoming installation videos. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.